Thank you very much, Dr. Mahmood. I'll be brief because I guess we're running against time. Starting with the point that I have made and that Dr. Tripathi has also mentioned, that region is changing. What is changing? As I have said, that the balance of power has shifted in favor of India. India's international acceptability has increased many folds because of its, I would say, perceived utility to counter China. I say it perceived because, of course, if you look at Indian strategic culture, India has a long cherished tradition of strategic autonomy, and number of events during last 10 years have proved that India is not going to let go its strategic autonomy to be on the same page with the United States of America on issues which are critical to the Western strategic interests. Whether it's the sanctions on Iran, India managed to get the waivers from United States of America. Whether it's Russia-Ukraine war, India has managed to get waivers. It's doing, I think, more business with Russia than it was doing ever before. And so that's why I would say that India has learned to deal with the great powers while maximizing its own interests. And of course, that goes without saying that India's international acceptance has also increased, notwithstanding the growing saffronization of Indian state and society as well. So what is happening now? What are Pakistan's options? I think Pakistan has somehow acknowledged this new change, although it's not that visible. How? If you look at Pakistan's national security policy in 2022, there was a considerable emphasis on geoeconomics. And at least rhetorically, Pakistani policy discourse is moving from geostrategy to geoeconomics. And then when we talk about Kashmir, that has long disturbed the relations with India in the national security policy. Interestingly, Kashmir was degraded from a core interest to a vital interest. And of course, in South Asia, including in Pakistan, we have not debated it to that extent as to what led to that degradation of Kashmir from a core to vital interest. So Pakistan is acknowledging these new realities and trying to improvise its foreign policy accordingly. And I would say that Pakistan's recent overtures to invite India for peace talks must also be seen in the similar light. It's not for the first time that Pakistani Prime Minister has invited India to hold talks. Imran Khan, he is also on the record inviting Narendra Modi for talks. Then of course, former Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa, in his private conversations and, of course, some public engagements, also emphasized on engaging with India instead of, following this confrontational path with this large neighbor. So, but at the moment, India sees no incentive to engage with Pakistan, and there are, of course, two reasons. First, India considers itself as a part of a bigger league where it would like to, sit on the tables with the great powers. And secondly, anti-Pakistan mantra sells domestically. This is something which BJP would not like to let go, especially when the country is preparing for the elections in the next few months. So these peace overtures from Pakistan are not likely to attract some reciprocity from BJP for the reasons I have mentioned. So what is Pakistan doing then? Conventionally speaking, Pakistan has to rely more on what we call the great equalizer, our nuclear capacity. And after the Russia-Ukraine war, Pakistan's belief in maintaining minimum strategic deterrence has increased manifold. So conventionally, of course, Pakistan would like to maintain that credible minimum deterrence against any unforeseen situation. And then diplomatically, when Pakistan is being blocked in South Asia by India, and I say that because if you look at the South Asian regional forums such as SARC, SARC has become obsolete for, of course, various reasons, but Islamabad sees it as a part of conscious effort by BJP to isolate Pakistan diplomatically. So simultaneously, we are seeing that India has embarked on some new regionalism ideas, such as Colombo Security Conclave, BIMSTEC, and all these new regionalization. It excludes Pakistan by default. So Pakistan then has to look towards Central Asia. To Central Asia, with whom Pakistan, of course, enjoys more civilizational linkages, and where it feels that it would not be deterred by the presence of India. But our overtures to reach to Central Asia are, of course, hindered by Afghanistan. We must acknowledge that our Afghan policy has failed. There is, of course, official acknowledgement. A lot of hopes were attached to Afghan Taliban, but given this spike in incidents of terrorism during last 2 years, I think that was an ill-conceived policy that has not brought us anything. So that is a big stumbling block. The sanctuaries being maintained in Afghanistan under the watchful eyes of Afghan Taliban. But having said that, there's a lot going on between Pakistan and Afghanistan beyond this counterterrorism talk. Because if you look at a number of regional connectivity initiatives, both the countries are working closely with Central Asian countries, let's say for CASA 1000, for Trans-Afghanistan Railway network. So a lot is taking place on the other side of the border in Pakistan, where Pakistan is trying to engage Afghan Taliban, confront Afghan Taliban when it comes to the TTP's sanctuaries, and engage them when it comes to connecting with Central Asia. And finally, Pakistan, of course, feels more inclined towards engaging with China. In 2017 and 18, we saw Pakistan trying to strike a balance between China and United States of America. But Pakistan feels that once the CPAC was scaled down for various reasons, United States of America and its Western allies, they failed to offer an alternative to Pakistan's infrastructural needs. There was simply no alternative to CPAC that was provided to Pakistan. So from 2018 onwards, we have waited a lot for some sort of alternatives from the Western capitals, but I think the option, the response has been lukewarm, to say the least. So now Pakistan is re-engaging with China. And of course, the terms of business would be recalibrated, reviewed with China, because China also has its own concerns when it comes to dealing with Pakistan. But one thing that I would like to convey to the Western capitals from this forum is, when Pakistan re-engages with China, I think West has to show little tolerance, because it's a country of 240 million people with its own infrastructural needs. And while it is blocked in South Asia by an ever-growing India, it has no other option but to engage with China. So it is in this context that we have to see. But having said that, it does not really mean that Pakistan does not have the ability or wherewithal to strike a balance between China and United States of America. I have argued in one of my papers that that the strategic direction of any country depends on the decisions made by its ruling elite. And if you look at the composition of Pakistani ruling elite, whether it's the military, politicians, academia, we have been Western oriented for a variety of reasons. And that basically enables Pakistan, allows Pakistan to strike a fine balance between China and US, the way a number of other countries are doing. Dr. Tripathi has talked about the trade balance with China and India. You look at the trade balance between China and America. I mean, countries are doing business with China and also trying to, somehow engage China as well. So that's Pakistan, I think, would like to do in the coming years, and that's how things will be taking shape in the next few years. Thank you very much.